She kept the locket for 50 years. It was always empty, until the night he died. It had been a lifetime ago that she'd received the locket. A young woman in love, head over heels for a handsome soldier with a charming smile and eyes that twinkled like the stars. He was her everything, her reason to believe in fairy tales, and he had promised her forever. Then he'd gone away, off to war, leaving her with a kiss and a whisper of a promise. He would return, he'd said, and he would make her the happiest woman alive. But he'd come back different, distant, haunted by the horrors he'd seen. The sparkle in his eyes had been replaced by a haunted look, the warmth of his touch by a coldness that sent shivers down her spine. On their wedding night, when he should have held her close and whispered sweet nothings in her ear, he'd stood aloof, a stranger in her midst. The priest had placed the locket around her neck, a symbol of the love they were to share. But it was an empty promise of a future that wasn't meant to be. For 18 years, he'd avoided her touch, never once looking at her as if she were really there. Then he'd left, just left without a word, without a backward glance. She'd never seen him again, yet she'd held onto the locket all these years, refusing to let go of the past. And now, half a century later, her fingers tightened around the cold metal as the memories flooded back. The joy, the hope, the betrayal, the heartbreak. Tears streamed down her wrinkled face as she clutched the locket to her chest. He was dead. She knew it in her heart before the telegram even reached her. He had died alone, far away from her. Part of her wanted to be angry, to curse him for the pain he'd caused her all those years ago, but all she felt was sorrow. Sorrow for the young girl who'd loved him so dearly and the man he once was. Days turned into weeks, the funeral into a blur. She didn't know where to go, what to do. Her friends urged her to move on, to let go of the past, but she couldn't. Not until she'd done this. She opened the locket. It had been a lifetime since she'd looked inside, since she'd seen the emptiness that mirrored her own. But now, she needed to see it one last time. She needed to lay her past to rest. Her trembling hands fumbled with the clasp, and when it finally opened, she gasped. There was a photo inside, a photo of them. On their wedding day, the memory of his touch still lingered on her skin, the phantom sensation of his lips on hers. She had never seen this picture before. He looked so happy, so full of life. And she was beautiful, radiant in her white gown, her eyes shining with love and happiness. Around her neck, the locket, the same locket, sat nestled against her gown, but no one had ever taken it. She knew it. She could feel it in her bones. This picture had not been taken by a camera. It was a memory, a moment captured in time, a feeling of love so pure it defied explanation. How was this possible? How could a picture exist without being taken? The answer came to her in a flash, as sudden and unexpected as the memory itself. Some memories don't fade. They wait to be seen. And in that moment, she understood. She understood why she had held onto the locket for all these years, why she had never let go. It wasn't just a keepsake, it was a connection to a part of herself that had been lost, a love that had endured time itself. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the room, she slipped the locket back around her neck, the cold metal a comfort against her skin. She knew now that some love survived time, that some hearts, once lost, found their way back to each other. And with that realization, she finally let go. And that's all for today. If you liked this story, follow for more lost and found hearts.